Hi, this is the street preacher Duane Henry Hoefer Lyon. Our series, Conversations with the Street Preacher. And this is conversation number 9. Our theme today is travel. I was raised in a town of 30 people, Jordan, Kentucky. By the way, welcome to my log cabin for tonight. The previous 5 nights, I have slept in my car on journey. Could I have gotten a room? Yes, but I had to pick between a bed and food, and I've grown quite fond of eating over the years. So we have to make a sacrifice. Raised in a town of 30 people, Jordan, Kentucky. I remember these. This is a Union Leader smoking tobacco can. Mostly in Jordan we had Prince Albert. That was the tobacco of choice. Now I never smoked, thank God. Never smoked cigarettes. I'll leave it right there. But in a log cabin, I'm talking about travel. I'm doing a little tour first. Look at this old iron. Now I did collect these. I got a neat one I got from Haiti where you put coal in it. Get coals hot, put them in the iron, it would heat up the metal and you could iron. Now here's something neat. An old coffee grinder. I tell you what, I may make me some coffee in the morning. We'll see what happens. I don't know about that. But anyway, travel. I come from a small community, and every now and again a plane would fly over. And I dreamt that I'd be on that airplane one day. 500 foreign mission trips later, my dreams and more came true. Always wanted to travel. Now, a bookmobile came to our little community about every 3 weeks during the summer, and we would race over there to that bookmobile. And I traveled the world in those books from that bookmobile before I ever got a passport. It's in me. Travel's tough. I slept under a picnic table in Sweden for about a week before I was in the newspaper and almost famous. Then I moved in a $200,000 or $300,000 house for my stay. Slept under a picnic table. I led some gypsy people from Romania to the Lord, and they were bragging to me one morning, telling me how famous I was. I was in the newspaper. I was on television. They didn't know that I had slept under a picnic table behind a Lutheran church the night before. Traveling through Europe and Morocco and around the world, many times I would schedule my train ride at night because that's one less bed I had to rent. I've like to brag about, I've been to Israel 9 times. What I didn't always tell you, I slept in hostels, $5 a night, community bathroom, and I've been in rooms in Israel, in Norway, Denmark, other countries. And I remember one time in Lille, France, as many as 30 people, sometimes 40 people in one room. Now you get 40 people in one room, something's going on all night. Someone's burping, something continuing. I've slept on long railroad tracks because of missed trains and buses. I've slept in bus stations. I've done a lot of traveling, and I've been blessed. 70 nations deep. Learned a lot through travel. And travel's in my blood. People ask me, why do you do it? Why do you travel? I was born to travel. Travel is education. This fits with my series I'm going through. I wanted to go where Jesus went. I remember when I got off the plane in Tel Aviv, I knelt down on the asphalt. You deboard right on the runway in Israel. They're not going to get a plane up next to the airport, take a chance of someone blowing up Ben Gurion Airport. They're really good on safety. I took a rental car into Palestine once, which is illegal. Don't phone that in to the Israeli embassy if you don't mind. I've went in other countries I will leave unnamed without the proper paperwork, what we call backdoor evangelism. I'm not going to name the countries for obvious reasons. I've done things that I hadn't told everybody about because I can't talk about it and risk people still there and so forth. But I love to travel. And I've climbed mountains in third world countries, and several times I thought, man, this is it. But I would come back home and that itch would come back. To go to new places and see new faces. Share new spaces with people, and number one, to tell them about Jesus. God said, go into all the world. And I had a slow start there out of Jordan, 30 people. But I had this yearning and burning to travel. I love to eat different types of food. I remember one time being in Guyana, and there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I believe it was Brother Jay asked me, you want to get some chicken? I said, no way. Let's find a grandmother pushing a cart. In Trinidad and Tobago, like to eat doubles. It's a wonderful little street food. Some meat wrapped in some dough. I don't know how to explain it. I just know it's good. If you see locals lined up at a homemade cart, or grandmother's there, or uncle's there, line up there and get it. Spend $1 or $2. I like to eat homemade bread at the Jaffa Gate in Israel. You can buy it for nearly nothing, $1. I love Arabic food, Israeli food, Italian food. I love street food. I like to eat street food because when you're out on the streets and you eat street food, you're around the locals. I remember lining up in Cuba. We was in the wrong line. That was before you could go to Cuba. We were detained in the Bahamas. After that, missed our flight. We had a blank spot on our passport, but we didn't tell. We didn't lie, but we didn't tell. I'm not volunteering to go to prison. If I get drafted, I'll go, but I'm not going to sign up and volunteer to go. We were in the wrong line. We were where the government was handing out commodities, and when they kind of looked us over and moved us to another line, and we ate some of the best homemade pizza and donuts you ever eat in your life. I've been blessed. I ate some chicken feed in Haiti. I've ate snails and snake and different things in Morocco, and I've eaten kangaroo, buffalo, and squirrel stew down in Kentucky. I've eaten octopus. Every kind of food. If I hadn't eaten it and it's set down in front of me, I want to eat it and then brag about it. Will I eat it a second time? It's just according to how hungry I am, whether I eat it a second time or not. But I am rather fond of eating. But sharing food is a form of evangelism. When you sit down with people and eat in their home, I've done it in Jordan. I've done it in Israel. Eliyahu, my friend, had me over for a Sabbath meal. I've ate cookies and had chai or tea with some Muslims in Jordan and other countries, Romania, Morocco. Get invited to people's homes, moved in with them. I prefer to live with people. You can build relationships and share stories. I've been so blessed. I've boxed in Morocco and done so many things. Really, I need to finish that book. I can't hardly remember everything I've done, but if I sat down and made myself, I could. But I'm still going. I'm still punching. I'm still fighting. I'm still eating. I'm still preaching. I'm a street preacher. And that's what I am. I talked earlier about being a lifetime student. I believe that learning is a lifestyle. I didn't say that, but I want to go back and clean that up. Lifestyle student. Lifestyle evangelism. And travel is a lifestyle to me, whether I'm local, wherever I am. I remember going and seeing some buffalo in Cadiz, Kentucky. Going in frontier cabins, and I just love to study military and museums. And my writing's improving as I read and study. And here I am in these, I'm not a teenager no more, but I'm learning. I'm in school. Life is a school. Travel is a school. Travel is education. I learn every time I go to church. I learn something. Every speaker I can pull something from. I've had to work at it on a time or two to pull something out of them. But I can do it, and you can do it. Nobody's going to hit a grand slam every time. I remember preaching a sermon once. Pastor was out of town. It was a night that George Bush, President Sr., bombed Iraq for the first time. People wanted to have a prayer meeting, but I didn't get to preach a lot, and it was my night, and I was just going to preach, and no matter what happened. I ended up preaching 4 or 5 sermons in one. They taped it, give it to the preacher. He called me in the office when he got back. He said, "Duane, that was absolutely the worst sermon I've ever heard in my life." And I said, "I agree with you, Dr. Bergner, 100%. It was horrible." But I said, God has given me an ability to write and speak. I will be a great speaker. He said, "Well, I hope so." He said, "Do you want to hear the tape?" I said, "No, I was there once. I don't want to go back there." I don't think I ever preached there again. I don't know what happened. The title of the sermon was "To Dream a Dream." But I don't know what happened. It was bad. And people had their mind elsewhere. But I am a gifted orator and a gifted writer because Jesus says so. And whatever God does is good. I love the Lord. I'm not mad at anybody. I can take a punch. I can throw a punch if you get me in a corner. But I guess I'm maybe more of a counter puncher than a straight out puncher. But I will take discipline and correction. And I didn't argue. It was bad. Friends, I want to encourage you to travel. You can travel local. You can travel in books. I've traveled all over the world on that bookmobile. Never left Jordan, went all over the world. When I went to the pyramids, that was the second time. When I went to the place of the skull where Jesus Christ was crucified, that was my second trip. I went on the bookmobile the first time. So share this with your children and grandchildren. Explain to them what a postcard is. Teach them to be students of history. And share the newspaper with them. Subscribe to your local paper and know what's going on in your local community. I like to walk at night. My favorite time's in the morning, but many times I'll walk by a house and it's just that big blue screen inside blinking. They just stuck to that TV. Sometimes I'll be in a motel and I'll flip through 100 channels and then turn it off and say, "Isn't that something? 100 channels and nothing on TV." Now I like to watch Andy Griffin. Things like that. It's kind of silly. Petticoat Junction, I like that old show. The Waltons, I guess, is one of my favorites. But, I love to travel. Traveling right now all over America. I love America. This is my country. Somebody asked me just a few minutes ago what was one of my favorite countries. Oh, how I love Israel. I love the nation of Israel. I love the Jewish people. I love all people, but I'm particularly fond of Israel. Oh, I love Canada. I love Canada. It took me 57 years to get there. I had no clue the glory and the beautiful people that I would meet up in Manitoba. How I love Canada. And I love America. God bless America. Think about it, friends. I can't stop traveling more than I could stop eating. Or I could stop preaching. Someone says, stop preaching, Duane. Stop writing, Duane. Stop writing poems, Duane. Well, that ain't what happened. I can't. That's all I can do. I'm a preacher. I'm too far in. I've come too far to turn back now. Quoting Dr. Martin Luther King in Birmingham. He made when he was going to cross a bridge one time. I believe it was Birmingham. Friends, I love you. Think about it. I'm concerned that people live just a few miles from some great, beautiful place. And I go and then I meet them and tell them, and they tell me, well, I've never been. Isn't that a shame? Think about it. Feed your mind. Enrich your mind in culture and the arts and people and food and travel. And travel, I've shared several times here, travel can be tough when you've done it the way I've done it. I've slept out on a lamb a lot more than I've told people. But I just can't stop. And if the money's not there, I'll cut the budget. But I can't cut the trip. I have to go. And I gotta go now. I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.